Our next guest has been everywhere from Dubai to England. She was a gold ticket finalist for Sports Illustrated and Maxim model. Miss Global Mexico 2023, standing at 5'7", my good friend, Maurah Ruiz.
I don't want to do it, but it is Valentine's Day. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin this podcast, this is my first alcohol of the year, the shot of Jack Daniels. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers. You're nervous. It's nervous. His arms are heady. Mom's pretty funky. Dude, that shot hit wrong in every possible way. I was sick. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Is It Though podcast. After being off for a week, we back, baby. As always, I am one of your hosts, Treco. You know the whole deal. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, that whole thing. But alongside me, as always, is my partner in crime, my co-host with the brand new background. He's back, baby, better than ever. What's going on, Nate?
Hey, what's going on, my guy? How's life?
Life has been good. Life's been good. It feels like a decade since we've seen each other. So much has happened. I mean, ice storms. You got
what?
You got groceries, eggs being high. A lot of things happened, dude. Man, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we actually have stuff to talk about for once.
We do actually. Before we get into all of that. Remember this time, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hey, be a friend and tell a friend. Let's grow this game together, you know what I mean? Organically. You know, find us in the organic section, you know what I mean? Tell somebody. So, I know you're probably wondering, why'd you guys go on break? Because things happen. Nathan was out of town enjoying his Vegas life. You want to tell us a little bit about that, buddy? How was Vegas?
Oh, Vegas was good, man. We were there for a conference. So I was there for work, but my employees love to work hard, play hard. So it was a lot of you know business stuff, but it was also a lot of play and have a good time.
All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, am I weak.
Did you come even or over?
Over, yeah. You know, it's rare, but I've learned to control my drinking at the tables, and it actually helps. Who would have guessed? So
who would have guessed?
It came back with a couple $100 in my pocket.
Hell yeah!
And I spent it already.
Hell yeah! There we go. Yeah. On the nice suit, but I love the drip. I love the whiz. Looking fly, fresh, brand new camera, new lighting. Who is this guy? Who is she?
New background.
My co-host right there.
That's right. But it was good, man. Played a little bit of slots, a lot of roulette. One of the companies that was at the conference was hosting a club night, so we clubbed it up a little bit. But yeah, good time. Free drinks. Yeah, we could probably play some B-roll, right? I sent you a good amount of video. We'll play that over. It was a good time overall, man. I'm exhausted. I took the day off that I came back that Monday because we were there from Thursday through Sunday. And I took Monday off, even though I still worked a little bit from my computer. There's just no way I was at 100%. So
yeah,
I needed a day to get myself together.
Yeah, I thought about it. The reason, like, we were just gonna plan record for that Sunday, but you know, in my head, I'm thinking Nathan's probably busy. I don't want him like, hey Nathan, I know you're tired as a fuck, but come on, we gotta record.
I would have made it, but my energy would have been so.
Yeah, would have been so low to go. That's great to hear, man. I mean, y'all managed on the ice storm. That was y'all ice storm experience. Or y'all miss it?
Yeah. No. We got it. We were stuck in the house for like 3 days, 2 or 3 days. My daughter's school was canceled, so me and my wife primarily work from home. So it was a nice little
Hell yeah.
balancing act, trying to work, but also make sure our daughter is entertained and is taken care of.
A lot of cocoa melon.
A lot of cocoa. Blippi. Blippi is like the upgraded version.
Hotness?
If y'all know what Blippi is. Yeah, the new hotness.
I know Pop. That's it.
But yeah, it wasn't even snowed. It was straight up ice. Like,
it was all straight up ice.
yeah.
That was
I actually
fire?
got a clip. I got a clip to send you. I was playing with my daughter out in front. So what I did, I grabbed like a sledgehammer, not a sledgehammer. I grabbed a hammer and just started breaking the ice into like snow in the front yard. And she got to have like a little snow day, and we threw tiny snowballs at each other. Had a good time.
Did you make a ghetto raspa? A ghetto
That's
freaking
right.
raspa? Hell yeah.
Probably
Hell
could
yeah.
have. But how about you? I know you work. You drive for a living. So how was that? Was work canceled?
Yes, work was canceled. Thankfully, like it was. To be fair, guys, I have been ignorant to the weather because we're just focused, blindfolds on. I saw on my on my iPhone, no big deal, iPhone guy. Saw there's an ice storm. I thought nothing up, probably just be cold for a day, nothing about it. Sure enough, boom, ice storm. Get a call. We're shutting down for today, tomorrow, and luckily was able to get to HEB, get all my groceries what I needed. I was gonna wait till the next day, but HEB closed the next day. But as soon as I went, I'm glad that I went. What I'm trying to say, because as soon as I went, they were closing early, so same deal. Was just home for 3 days, literally just playing video games all day, which was nice.
So is it a cool invite? Anyways,
Your dad, you know what I mean?
So is that
I don't want to rob you of your father, daughter time with your family. You know what I mean? I feel
why
bad
you put
enough
her-
jacking
put
away
her
from
eight.
your family here.
So is that like unpaid time off, or what happens in that situation?
Listen, Nathan, like, come on, man, who do you think I work for, huh? It's obviously unpaid.
Oh, don't cry, are you?
He says with a tear in his eyes. Yeah, definitely unpaid. But before all that happened, before the ice storm, while Nathan was away on vacation, my family came up in town. Was able to enjoy some family time, which is big for me nowadays. I was able to go down to San Antonio, spend some time with my nephews for his birthday. We went to San Antonio at this interactive art museum called Hopscotch in San Antonio. You ever heard of it before?
I've not. Sounds cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty small, but it's pretty like obviously interactive. There was a freaking ball pit, dude. I've never been so excited as a 31-year-old man to see a ball pit. Literally shoes off in the ball pit with my brother, my nephew, my nieces, just all freaking feel like a kid again, bro. I think the last time I was in a ball pit was in Peter Piper's when they had that, like, was like 1995, 1996. Were you?
Yeah, so-
Nathan, were you alive when Peter Piper's had the ball pit?
Fuck yeah, dude. Smelled like pee and sweat,
Hey,
but it was a good time.
it's grit, grit.
So it was an adult. It was a ball pit for adults.
Adults and kids.
Was it like interactive lights? Like there had to be a twist on it of some sort.
There was a perspective things, but there was a booth you could tell secrets to. There was interactive art, a lot of like AI kind of movement and stuff like that. It was really, really interesting and really fun. It was only like $25, worth it. But we went with the kiddos. We went around 8 o'clock. But as soon as it got later, then that's when the older crowds came in, coming down with their, whiskey sours and their mojitos and a lot of drunken older people. So, I mean, it was fun though. I'm glad.
Do you have a clip of your experience?
Oh,
or
obviously, I have clips.
Throw this up.
Also, shout out San Antonio, man. Like after living in Austin and going to San Antonio, the vibe was immediately set as we parked. It's like a tri-car with a single wheel in the back, 2 wheels in the front. I don't know. It's like a
Okay. Well, yeah, they have those. They have those like all over 6th Street, right?
Yeah. I don't know what they're called, but it was all LED decked out, blasting reggaeton music. He was passed by Voodoo Donuts. Was like everybody was out there party, have a good time. Like, obviously, yeah, Mexican music. Like, I like it. There's no homeless on
Yeah.
the streets that I saw, so I was like, yeah, it's like a cleaner Austin. But it was a good vibe all around. A lot of horses and carriages. I noticed.
So were you all downtown?
What? I never been Constitution downtown. We were by Hopscotch was near Voodoo Donuts, and then
Riverwalk?
no. I don't know. I don't know. San Antonio, the world. There was the park. I don't know. There's
I have a lot of parks.
I don't know. There's a park, Voodoo Donuts. I guess that section of downtown. A lot of construction. You know what I mean?
Cool.
But it was a fun time, Maurah. Anytime I get to spend time with the kiddos and my nieces and nephews, hey, let's go.
How many nieces and nephews do you have?
A lot.
Wait, so sorry, I don't think I've ever asked. Do you have an older sister or brother?
I guess I have two older brothers, right? Older sister, technically not technically, but I see her as an older sister. It's like
half.
it's I don't know how to explain it like to everything else, but I see her as an older sister in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she has yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
So a lot of nieces and nephews. But technically
Nice.
they're not related to me, but the way like our family's constructed, we're pretty close, so we see each other. We don't see we see each other as a family. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Sweet. Okay. Nice. Like, so you're old. I thought you were the oldest. I don't know for some reason, because I know you have a younger brother I'm aware of and a younger sister. Your ex co-host of this podcast.
Shout out.
So you have two older brothers. Is that fully like full blood?
Half, but I
Okay.
call him. I don't see him. I don't never call him. Brother.
No,
but,
yeah.
but technically,
so I know.
yeah, but yeah.
Got it. Cool. Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the only one in my family who has a kid, so and it's probably going to be like that for a while. So I have yet. No, wait. I do have a niece
Mm-hmm.
from my sister's side, her brother.
Yeah.
So I lied. But neither of my brother or sister's blood have a kid yet.
Yeah, same thing with me. Well, not with kids, but my oldest brother, he's on with kids. So I mean, it's funny because I can just see my parents just like, so what's up? With every time I go home, like or call my dad, he's like, oh, what's up? Where the girls at, man? Where the kids at, man? Come on, man. Come on, man. Like I'm working on it, guy, but I gotta work on myself. You know what I mean?
On that note, how's that going? Any hot dates lined up for Valentine's Day?
So many hot dates, bro. Let me just kick back and tell you, bro. I got so many chicks, bro. It's just fire. I'm just kidding. Nah, none. You know what I mean? Not with like a trying, because not to get nut up, but when it comes to that shit, I kind of like put that shit on pause.
Yeah.
I took myself off the dating apps. I'm just working on myself right now. You know what I mean? Just doing me right now.
Yeah.
But eventually, obviously gonna get back on the track. You know what I mean? Not track, but get back out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, don't post a picture of you in your outfit. Otherwise, you're going to have the women crawling all over you, dude. Swiping right, left.
Hey, we need to get some swipe
Swiping
rights.
right, swiping left.
I
I don't know how that works.
Swipe rights, but hey,
Swipe
it's not about me. It's about ladies, our buddy Bob. Bob needs you to swipe right. Hashtag Bobby swipe right, please. That's what we need.
Wait, remind everybody who Bob is.
Bobby with the dog. Boom. Our editor. Boom. 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 Boom.
Our editor? Oh.
I mean, editor.
Was he promoted?
Clips editor.
Clips. Yeah.
Cut that out.
Got
Sorry. Yeah, people in the background now. They say Robin Productions here. Okay, we're doing good now. Okay, took a week off. We got productions up in here.
Yeah, we have people on payroll.
Hell yeah! Before we move on, there's some things I want to hit quickly before we introduce our guests and everything like that.
Let's do it.
Quick little spark notes. First of all, congratulations, San Benito. You did it. You finally made it to 2023. You'll get in the Starbucks. Boom! Say goodbye to freaking Raspa stands. Say goodbye to all that crap. You're going to have a Starbucks, baby. You're digging yourself out of the hole. Hey, let's go, baby. You're right there, baby. Let's go.
I'll be honest. I didn't realize they didn't have a Starbucks. Those bitches are everywhere. Like,
Hey, bro, remember when Starbucks opened up in Harlingen? There was just one fucking long ass line for Starbucks.
there still is. Like every time I go to Starbucks in Harlingen, it wraps around the building. The building's like super small too.
Well, now you're gonna have that in San Benito. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, San Benito. San
Let's
Benny.
go.
Moving on up.
Moving on up and moving on to the next subject. Obviously, guys, the big game. You know, for legal reasons, I'm gonna still say Super Bowl, but for legal reasons, if you get taken down, the big game.
No, it's Superb
the,
Owl.
The Super Owl game is coming up. For content's sakes, hey, congratulations, Chiefs. Congratulations, Patrick Mahomes, MVP, Super Bowl, all that stuff. And take two. Congratulations, Eagles. You did it. You beat the Chiefs. Hey, congratulations, Nick Sirianni. We did it. Boom.
I have 200 on the Chiefs, so
Allegedly.
let's hope that
it's not
first
legal
take.
in Texas. Allegedly. Allegedly. People out here getting sued for that kind of stuff. Is there anything I'm forgetting before we move on to our guest? I think we hit everything. Sam Benito, congratulations. The big game, Super Bowl.
No, I think we're good. We can probably take 1 minute to go pee and then introduce our host.
All right. Pee break. We'll be back. When we come back, we'll introduce our host.
Okay.
We'll introduce our guest. All right.
Okay. All right, 1 second.
Bye.
Our next guest has been everywhere from Dubai to England. She was a gold ticket finalist for Sports Illustrated and Maxim Model. She has participated in Miami Swim Week, New York Fashion Week, Dubai Fashion Week. She is Miss Global USA 2020, Miss Super Talent USA 2022, Miss Orb USA 2022, and most recently, Miss Global Mexico 2023, standing at 5'7", my good friend, Maurah Ruiz.
Hey! She left. I'm leaving that in. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.
Bro.
Thank you for watching. Cue the music. Bye.
Hello.
Hey.
The stars here.
The stars here. We can start.
Okay, now before we start, Nathan, 5'7", are you out of your mind?
5'7" and a quarter. I didn't.
I was like 5'10". Hello.
Oh, you're not 5'10".
I am.
We stand next to each other. I will admit you're tall. I'm 5'8", and we're right there.
There's no 5'9" 3/4", right? But I am not shorter than you, Nate. You said 5'7".
Anyways, how's it going, Maurah?
It's that El Paso grit, I guess. Here we go.
That's right. Maurah, Trey, Maurah.
Hello,
What
Trey.
up,
nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you
meet
guys
you.
for having me.
Handshakes all around.
I'm very sorry for the reschedule, but as I was telling Nate earlier, you guys actually got stood up for Will Smith. So
let's go. Shout out Chris Rock. Let's go.
Maurah's a great liar.
Shout out
But
for
we'll
the
accept
entanglement. Shout out.
The truth.
Shout out.
Listen, I will pull up the Instagram right now.
Will Smith's coming on the podcast. Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
Let's
No,
go.
I wasn't with. I went to the same restaurant that Will Smith was at.
Alleged.
But were y'all dining together, or you just happened to run into him?
No, I mean, we were sitting in the lounge and then we heard like a commotion. This typically happens when like a celeb's there. So we like look up and I'm like, oh, that guy kind of looks like Will Smith. And I'm like, oh, that is Will Smith. And so he was there with like a few other people. And I was just like, okay, cool. Just kept on about my day. And
No
left.
big deal. I'm
Yeah.
Maurah. He's Will Smith.
Another
Will
day.
Getting jiggy with it.
And just to clarify, that's down in Miami, Florida.
Miami, correct. Yeah, there was
Shout
a new
out.
restaurant open. Mhm.
Shout out. Nice. Well, take it away, Trey.
Well, shout out Will Smith. Shout out Jada Pinkett. Shout out all that stuff. But before we get into all of that, all the celebrity, all the stories that I've been hearing that you get involved with, let's start from the very beginning, Mars. So, all I know from you is that you're from El Paso and then TikTok. But let's start from El Paso. So, from high school on, so what was it like growing up there from the very beginning?
I loved growing up in El Paso. I will say though that I was very sheltered, and probably Nate can identify. Trey, I don't know where you're from, but probably Nate can identify with this. Is it was all like Mexican Americans, everybody. Like I never saw I never even saw white people. I didn't see any black people. Like I didn't see any other races until I left, when I was 18. So I grew up very like, I guess in a bubble where we didn't even lock our front doors. I always felt safe. Like there was no, it's just a very safe community. So going from there to like school at Texas State, which is like East Texas, basically, it's a culture shock. It like kind of slaps you in the face. But I loved growing up in El Paso. I'm very Mexican. I will say my culture is very Mexican. I'm half Mexican, half Colombian. So I think I have sort of a unique look that I don't really look particularly Mexican, but my spirit and everything is definitely like culturally, family, everything is very Mexican.
Very, very Mexican. We're from the same spot at the Rio Grande Valley, same bubble. So follow-up question. So since you said, that's interesting. You said El Paso is very sheltered, very bubbled. So I know it's kind of late news, but I want to hear your explanation. Why is it El Paso, the bubble, is so against the Edgar haircut? How come y'all don't like Edgar haircuts? What's the deal? Why are you trying to ban Edgar's here? What's going on here?
I didn't know what the Edgar haircut was until Nate was like, "What do you think of the Edgar haircut?" And then he sends me, and I was like, "What is that?" And I Googled the Edgar haircut, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's the haircut my nephew has." My nephew has that exact same haircut. And I don't know. And I saw the school that was doing it. It was like Riverside. I'm like, oh, it would be Riverside, like trying to ban a haircut. But I will say that the culture is very conservative. Like we were not allowed to have our hair, like other high schools, you could have your hair like blue or like piercings or like short skirts, and they didn't care. That Latin American culture is very conservative, particularly Mexican American. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know that it's distracting. Like they're saying it's distracting. I think that's weird. I don't think it's distracting at all. It's an interesting haircut.
Follow-up question really quick.
Go ahead.
All right. You're familiar with the Rio Grande Valley, right? The valley,
yes.
El Valle 956.
Puro 956?
So there's people from El Paso that claim for some reason that they're the Rio Grande Valley, even though you're all the way northwest Texas.
Right? No shot.
Yeah,
but there's similar culture, right? Similar bubble. But can you confirm that you're not
956
RGV? You're not 956.
You don't claim it.
Okay, so I have heard people say that though, like El Paso is part of the RGV, but we don't I feel like we're sort of a bubble of our own. Like it's El Paso. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. You heard it here, folks.
For the whole community, but
You're here first.
But I am.
You're here to declare the El Paso and Laredo is not 956. So hey, good job. We got some clarity there. So you said, you say, I got the sentence. So you say you went to Texas State, right? So how was that college experience like for you? That culture shock? Because I can relate. Because once I moved out of the bubble, out of the Rio Grande Valley, that culture shock is definitely a real thing. I noticed it like with the beard and everything. Because now I'm either Muslim or Indian. I'm not around a lot of Mexicans. And when I first came to Austin, they thought I was illegal and they tried to fucking deport me. I went to HEB and that happened. So big different deal. So how was that experience for you in Texas State?
I mean, I think there was some experiences that were hard for me. Like I remember one, I was working in a store and this lady was like, I was sweeping the floor or something, and like just picture me, like 18 years old sweeping the floors. And she said something offensive about the way I spoke or like my accent. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, well, all those Latin American countries, like they're all the same. You guys are all the same. And I'm just like, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, I was so taken aback. I had never been singled out for my race or the way that I looked ever before. And I was just like, I was in complete shock. I had never seen it or felt it before. So there were definitely some instances where I guess I experienced racism, but after a while, I just kind of fit in. I found my friend groups. I started a support and marketing organization for the ice hockey team there, which is kind of left field, but I actually really love ice hockey. Yeah, that's my legacy. They're called the Texas State Ice Angels. So that organization was actually started by me and girls that I recruited. Yeah, at Texas State.
Shout out.
Damn.
Yeah. So it was fun. I mean, it was fun. It was a lot of definitely a lot of partying. I went to Texas State. The rumors are true. We had frat row. We would all go to 6th Street. I mean, it was honestly a really great experience. But above everything, I got a good education. Coming out of it. I think so.
What were you in a sorority?
Yeah. So yeah, partying, having a great time, starting the business, partying. But got it. Great education. Great education. Great education.
The best.
The best. Nathan, go ahead.
Were you in a sorority, Maurah?
So I was part of a Catholic service sorority. It's called Mu Epsilon Theta. And there was always kind of this running joke that I was the one girl that, like, I don't want to say didn't fit in, but they knew, like, I really wasn't supposed to be there. Like, I probably should have gone Greek. But I was trying so hard to follow a good path and, like, be a good person. And I felt like going Greek would have just taken me to an extreme of my personality that I wasn't willing to go. So I was that fun, like, sorority girl while the other girls were, like, at church. I'm like, all right, guys, like, Delta Pi is, like, throwing a party. Like, who's going to come with me? And they're like, we have church tomorrow. I'm like, it's okay. Like, we'll wake up. Come on.
We'll pray our sins away.
We'll pray our sins away. I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I've just always been the type of person that loves to be in the action. I love to be out. I love talking. I love meeting people. So I even had those same characteristics back then.
I think, in my mind, this is how I always pictured them or have always described them. Religious sororities are kind of like the mullet sororities, like business professional in the front, but behind the scenes in the back, partiers.
Drank too. Like, I saw a couple of them drinking too. They were definitely not, all innocent. Yeah. But drinking over 21, obviously.
obviously.
There's no way. Exactly how they partied in college, right there. That Diet Coke, it's not Diet Coke in there.
Whoa.
There's got to be some rum. We know.
What are we doing here, bud? Wait, hey.
It's all appearance. Appearance. I see you.
Hey, great education.
Sparkling
great
water
education here. Great education. So, was there any? Did you say it was a Catholic sorority? Was there any type of weird initiation into sorority? Was it like you have to pray and to smile or drink this kind of rum or something?
There was. I don't want to say it was hazing. Like, that's not the right word.
No, that's not a real thing. It's not in college.
Fell into a category. It might have been that.
Alleged.
It was like a crazy scavenger hunt where we had to look for something that never existed, and we had to look for it the whole semester. If we didn't find it, we weren't able to get initiated. And there was a brother fraternity of ours that would we know where it is, and they would mess with us and stuff. And there was rituals. I can't talk about them, but there's rituals on initiation.
Sus.
Super sus.
There's rituals. Yes.
Was it to find chupacabra or something?
No, nothing like that. It's actually nice rituals, but just something that's special for our sorority that I can't talk about.
Cool. What was the name of the sorority? Can you shout them out?
Mu Epsilon Theta.
Mu Epsilon Theta.
Yeah. MEO. Yes.
So after getting a great education, how did you end up meeting this guy over here? This guy right here.
This guy. Okay. So after my great education, I moved to Austin, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was working at Kendra Scott. I was selling jewelry. I was just living my best life. I don't know what I was doing. I was just I need to find something serious. And they had recruited me for pharmaceutical sales, which is Allergan. And I decided I didn't know anything about anything, but I knew that in sales, the people that make the most are software or pharma. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll go pharma, not really knowing it was aesthetics. Anyway, so I ended up joining, getting a job at Allergan, and it was my first job outside of first real job outside of college. And Nathan and I got the job at the same time, so we were little training buddies throughout the whole time. So that's how we got to know each other. We started at the same time, so we were rookies together. And we also we were on the same team. So we covered what did you even cover, Nathan?
Midwest. I covered Arizona.
Okay, so I was in the Midwest, but I had the real Midwest, North Dakota,
Arizona.
South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But we were on the same team, so we used to sit right parallel, I could look left and see Nate. Right? Aren't you my cube mate? Right next to me? Yeah, he was my cube mate. So I could see Nate every single day, getting his coffee, coming in 20 minutes late, but hey, that's
What was your first impression, Nate?
That's
I thought he was nice. I thought he was a nice person. Funny. I mean, I didn't really know much about him.
What about now?
Short. I mean, it's the same. I think it's been really cool actually to see Nate evolve from this. I don't want to say he was a kid when we met, because we were not kids, but we were definitely younger. And then seeing him evolve to his position in his career and with a family and a dad, it's just so crazy to me.
It is. Hey, likewise, just hearing, we'll get into it, but all the stuff you've been through, you've experienced, and where you are now and the position you hold in your company, it's really cool to see as well. It's doesn't feel like it's been a long time, but it really has. It's been, what was the last time we worked together? Probably 2017, 2016.
Jeez.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
6 years, 7 years, something like that.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Shout out to our graduation photo. My zipper was down, and Maurah didn't tell me.
Wow. There you go.
Oh, we took a graduate. That's true. Went to California. We did like a 2-week training, and then they take your photo like of the whole class, and we did not let him live this up. Like it was the most hilarious thing we had seen in a while. It was so funny.
Was it that noticeable?
It was very so noticeable. He was right in the first row with his fly down.
There you go, buddy. That's my co-host right there.
I thought I looked so fly. I was wearing a suit. I had some dark, slacks on. I think my top was like a white long sleeve with some like pattern on it, but you can just straight up see like white around my zipper area. Yeah, you can see my shirt through my zipper, and it's like, all right,
You can see it.
Didn't look so professional after all.
You can see your confidence.
Yeah, so that was, and by the way, our graduation class not only included inside sales, it included all the field reps that were hired at the same time. So it was probably at least 20 to 30 of us in that photo, and then I'm up front and center with my fly down.
We're the last ones to actually do that field training for inside sales, like the last. So I actually attribute that to our like catapulted success in our career, because we weren't trained like inside sales rep, we were trained like field reps. So we got this experience that no one else really got at our company.
Yeah,
after us.
That's true. Forgot about that. That's true. Yeah. So that's where we met. So for my memory, Maurah, after that, you got promoted to the body contouring division, right? And then I don't know how far along after that I got promoted to the body contouring division. Basically, you're the first one with our team that got promoted, and I'm like, well, what the fuck?
So
she started the same time. We started.
So she paved the way for you. It's basically what you're trying to say.
Yeah, she did.
Let's go.
She opened my eyes like, oh, this is possible now.
Come to the light.
Yeah. So I was like, well,
up until I had done it, no one else was really doing it. Like people were there 4, 5, 6 years, and they were just trying to get in the field, and they were not able to get those opportunities, And I actually it was like I had to get special approval by the directors at our company to even get promoted, because our company has a rule that you can't leave your position up until 2 years. And that's a hard rule. They don't let anyone do it. Right. But I did it twice, because I got promoted twice in body contouring.
Damn.
Yeah.
So she did pave the way. I forgot about that. Yeah, no. So for those that don't know, inside sales is where you sell whatever you're selling over the phone. You work with customers over the phone, and your goal is to eventually make it to the field where you're working with clients in person. So, like Maurah said, a lot of the inside sales reps worked in inside sales at least 4 to 5 years before they had an opportunity to make it out into the field. Maurah was the first person to, cut all the bullshit out and get out in the field within 2 years' time.
Better for this job. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Let's go.
I'm ready. No, yeah. So shout out Maurah for paving the way. So we both got promoted. You first, obviously, and then we were there for a bit. Did I leave the body contouring division before you?
I left first.
Did you leave? Okay,
yeah.
You left, and then I left shortly after. Because I worked in Florida. I'm from Texas, and I wanted to get my family back to Texas. So as soon as I got an opportunity, I took a promotion outside the company to move back to Texas. And then I guess this segues into you have a fabulous life, period. But I guess we could transition to the bougie part of your life.
the celebrity part. Before we move on to the celebrity part, do you have any funny stories working with Nathan? Like experiencing with him while working with him at the time, before we move on to your celebrity part?
I mean, I just remember him having another little buddy like Jared, who's our buddy. And they were always conniving something. Like they were always finessing, like always in these private rooms talking about I don't know what.
sus.
Hold up. Hold up.
Damn, buddy's gonna hear exposed to 4K.
So hold on. Hold on.
He's got
That
some
was
exposure to do to his
that was-
wife.
That
Damn.
was very vague, Maurah. So
In a private
Trey.
room.
So we
She's
all-
saying some stuff going down. Hey, buddy, it's okay. It's 2023, boss man. What's going on?
hold on. So as inside sales reps, we worked on this giant sales floor with cubicles.
Right.
But we had what we called breakout rooms where we can go and make calls in private because the sales floor was like loud. Okay. Anyways, me and
Together?
Jared would occupy one room because we were wheeling and dealing, trying to sell as much as we can. Sometimes
Yeah.
our methods weren't approved, so we needed to get away from the manager's ears and go, close our deals the way we needed to close them.
With the lights on or
Anyways.
off? With the lights on or off?
Lights were on.
Mm.
Always.
Maurah, how long were they in there? Like 2 hours, an hour and a half? Or
All day. I mean, they would be in the whole day.
We had that selling stamina, bro. What are you saying
It
right
was
now?
like
Come
it
on.
was like they had their own office. We're like, we're Nate and Jared. They had their own private office. We're like peasants on the sales floor in cubicles with like no privacy, and they're like full closed door like offices.
they
is
come
where
out
they're
all
at.
disheveled, like hair all messed up or sweaty?
No,
Just
not that.
grinding it out on the phone. So if you're so
Grinding
our
something.
systems can track your sales, right?
Okay.
And on the last week of the month or last week of the quarter, you would see my sales just like jump up 500% because I did the most business at the end of the quarter, and it was all thanks to those those private rooms.
Hell yeah. Hey, shout out private rooms. Shout out
I
private
went
rooms.
for so long.
Private rooms.
So really quick, something that's always fascinated me because it takes a lot of guts and confidence, and it takes you really need to put yourself out there, right? For this is the pageants you've always participated in. I think being on a stage, no matter the size, it takes a lot of balls. And you've been doing this for a long time, Maurah. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Trey doesn't know. I know during my intro I mentioned some of the pageants you've participated in and won, but where did all that start? And tell us a little bit about the ones you did win and how that experience went. Because I know it's one thing to give it a shot and put yourself out there, and it's another thing to win multiple over the course of 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I'm a Triple Crown winner now, and then people are laughing. They're like, "What are you, a horse?"
Hey.
Because they say that in horses, like a horse is a Triple Crown
Yeah.
winner.
Yeah.
So it initially started with, so when I was in middle school and then I think in high school, I always kind of struggled with my weight. So I was overweight. I was like the chubby girl. I got, made fun of a lot. And I initially wanted to do pageants just to prove to myself that I could feel happy, beautiful, and confident in a bikini on a stage. So it wasn't with the intention that I wanted to win anything. I wasn't really looking for validation, although maybe there was a layer of that at the beginning. I wanted validation.
Yeah.
I competed at my first pageant and I was a wreck. I mean, it was horrible. I could not walk in heels. I didn't know how to do my hair. I didn't know how to dress. Like, it was horrible. But afterwards, the director came up to me and she's like, "You have something." She's like, you've got it. She's like, "You've got to keep going." And a lot of the girls, my first pageant, weren't very nice to me because they didn't want me to win or be competition. I guess they saw the way I look. I don't know what that was, but I just never gave up. And I kept competing and competing and competing and getting better and learning more. And I was just obsessed. Like, I became obsessed with winning. And eventually I won. I won local titles in Texas. And then I won my first national one here in Florida. And then I won another national one, and now I'm Miss Global Mexico. So, I mean, I kind of skipped ahead a lot, but I essentially, it was a journey for me. And people always ask me, like, why do you do pageants? Why do you feel like you need someone to tell you that you're beautiful? And that's not what pageants are about. It's about community service. It's about serving your community. It's about being a role model, empowering women, inspiring them, and friendships. I mean, I've met so many amazing, beautiful girls through pageants. And one of them is actually one of my best friends. We met at a pageant camp. And I feel like it really helped mold me into becoming a young woman, a woman who is strong, confident, and is able to speak really well, because you have to do interview training and all this stuff. So
Right.
it was a journey. I mean, I know 110% I wouldn't have gotten my first corporate job if it wouldn't have been for pageants, because I had so much interview training. I just knew what to do and what to say. But I've traveled all over the world with pageants. I went to Dubai, I went to Costa Rica, I'm going to Vietnam in June. So, and there's like nothing, you're like a mini celeb, right? Like there's red carpets and there's fans and press interviews, tours, and it's crazy. And I forget sometimes, like, I don't want to say that's who I am. That's not the right thing, but I forget sometimes. I walk in a room and the little girls are like, oh my God, I've seen all your pictures. Like, can I take it? It's just so cute and so endearing. But I remember being that little girl, right? Like looking at the national title holders and being like, wow, like maybe one day I could get there. And I did it. So
what I love about you, Maurah, is that you've handled your success with grace. And being from El Paso, which I don't think there's a lot of claim to fame over there in El Paso, right? But having humble beginnings, experience success, and then keeping a level head throughout the whole process it's hard to do, right? And that's what I've admired about you in your journey to where you are now. Is you're the same person I met back when we first started working together. Even though you've experienced a tremendous amount of success in different avenues since then. I want to quickly ask about the first pageant you won, and then the most recent one. So with this first pageant you won, I think back in 2020, is that correct?
Yes.
So what is that one? How was it? How was the feeling of winning? What doors did it open for you?
So that pageant was crazy. So that was in 2020. So we actually had to compete with masks. It was the craziest thing. Like I know. Think about, but put yourself back in 2020, right? Like we had to.
I don't want to.
right until the moment that we walked on stage, they would let us rip our mask off. But imagine the anxiety, like your makeup's been smeared, your lips glosses, like there's just so many things that were like, nerve-wracking about it. But we went through the whole competition, and I just kind of went into that competition. They always like to ask girls, like, did you know you were going to win? And the answer is no. Like, I knew I had a shot, right? I knew that I was one of the most prepared candidates. I knew that I was a favorite. I knew that I was going to go in and I was going to perform and I was going to do what I needed to do, but I didn't know I was going to win. Like, there's no way you could know that. So I'm sitting there and it's like, it's the last two. And I'm just like looking around and I'm looking at her, and honestly, like, I feel like I blacked out. Like they said my name and like, I just kind of like fell over. It almost fell over. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like looking around, like freaking out, saying thank you to the judges. They crowned me, and it was like surreal because it was years of being told no and losing, and then winning this competition where I was supposed to go to Bali. I was crowned in 2020. I was supposed to go to Bali to compete. But that pageant kept getting pushed out for COVID like 5 times. And then in 2021, they were like, okay, we're not going to crown another USA girl. We're just going to you're just going to be 2021. And I'm like, okay. And then finally my organization, which was Miss Global, they were like, okay, and then finally we crowned 2022, which is Sarah Bird. She was the queen right after me. And they're like, okay, 2021 is going virtual and 2022 gets to go to Bali. And I'm like, what? Like I was working so hard, like doing appearances, like, and then I just said, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't get to go compete. I don't get my shot at Miss Global, but I'm very thankful for even having had this virtual opportunity, whatever. I didn't win that. So then after that, my director calls me and she's like, I compete virtually. I don't win. Obviously, virtual's very hard to compete. I think the girl that won was UAE that year. So
what does that mean?
United Arab Emirates.
Okay, got it.
And so she calls me, my director, my like Global USA director, and she's like, "Hey, Maurah, Super Talent has actually been looking at you. They've been looking at you for 2 years, and they want you to compete. It's in Dubai in 2 weeks. Do you want to go?" And I was like, Like for pageants, you train for months. You
Yeah.
train physically, you gather your wardrobe, you gather your sponsors, you prepare mentally. They're like, you're going in 2 weeks. And I was like, well, I was like, I'm not 100%, but I'm gonna go. I think my bikini was from like Amazon. I just ordered random stuff. I used what I had and I went and I competed. I was
Hashtag
in
humble.
Dubai. I was in
Awesome.
Dubai. I brought 2 pairs of shoes. I brought my competition shoes and I brought backup shoes. And on one of our appearances, I was like, I'm gonna wear my backup shoes. It's no problem. My backup shoes break. They completely crack in half. And I have a video of it at an appearance. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. I still have my competition shoes, all good. We do opening number. I come out a competition and my shoes snap.
Like
My competition shoes snap. And I had 2 choices on what I wore to compete in. Wedges. I don't know if you guys know what wedges are.
Yep.
No.
Or barefoot. Those were my options. Wedges. It's like a wedge
Yeah.
is like a very casual girl sandal, not something that you put on a stage. So no matter how good I was, the moment I walked out, the judges were like she's out because I was wearing wedges. I looked like an amateur. So I didn't
Pause.
place.
We're gonna place a picture of a wedge right here for the male audience that don't know. All right, go ahead.
Give me more work to do. Awesome. Boom, boom.
So I didn't place in Dubai. All the girls were shocked because I think I'm gonna be honest, like I really think that the majority of the girls and like they knew that I would at least hit some sort of top placement. And when I wasn't even like I didn't get anything, it was very clear what happened. So anyways, I was flying back home and I was like, man, I was like, that was, I lost my opportunity. I was so sad. But I was like, you know what? I felt fulfilled. I felt so fulfilled. I was on the plane and I was praying and I was like, thank you, God, help me to see what comes next for me because this has been a part of my life for so long. I don't know what to do now. As soon as I land, I get a DM from the H&I Grand Productions team. And they're like, hey, Maurah, we have this pageant. And I'm like, guys, like, I was like, guys. I was like, no. I'm like, no. I was like, no. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, no, I don't know. I was like, I just got back from Dubai. And they're like, please just talk to us. Just take the call. And I'm like, okay. So I get on the phone with them and they're like, Maurah, we've been watching you. They're like, you were a top 5. After we saw what you did in Dubai and how you did in Dubai, we knew it had to be you. We want you to be the first Miss Orb USA. We want you to go compete in Costa Rica for us. It's happening in 2 months. Do you want to go? And they're everything paid, sponsors, gowns, like the trip, everything. They're like, do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah. So I say yes. So I say yes, and I do it, and I go, and I'm more prepared because now I have 2 months. Now, typically, you need at least 6, but 2 months, I'm more prepared. I'm feeling good physically. I've got, my dress that I wanted to wear. Everything is much better. I go to compete at Miss Orb in Costa Rica, and I get top 10. So I did really good. The interview was in Spanish, so I think that's why I didn't do really well, but I put the USA on the map. I mean, I was up there with Colombia, with Mexico, with Peru and Venezuela and like all these huge pageant countries. So that was just accomplishment to even be up there, top 10, like even to begin with. So then I was like, all right, I'm done. Now I'm really done, right? I've done it 3 times. I feel really done. I'm like hanging up my crown. I'm like ready to move on to the next thing. Then Miss Global calls.
Jesus Christ.
Miss Global calls.
Before we get into Miss Global,
Hold on.
Yes.
You mentioned
But
don't you speak fluent Spanish?
So I do, but at the time I was just sort of learning. So, but keep in mind, I don't, it's not my first language. So even though I'm fluent, I can't speak like I speak like this. And
Yeah.
English for interview, like it's a very controlled sort of pattern and formula on how you say things. So I was able to communicate, but I wasn't able to communicate like a 10 out of 10 like I do in English. It was maybe 8 out of 10. And when you're competing at a stage like that, like honestly, I should have insisted on a translator, but I just wanted to try. I thought maybe they would empathize with me for trying, but ended up not working out in my favor. But that was the risk that I took.
right,
Yeah,
go
and
ahead
then-
for a shot. Oh, sorry, Nate. Well,
And then sorry, one last question before we get into the second.
Come on, man. I'm trying to talk here, buddy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go for it. I can hold my question.
I was gonna say quickly because I know we're going pretty fast talking about pageantry. I wasn't fast over the competition. I wanted to know, out of my own curiosity, what can you quickly walk us through the process to leading to presentation, and then walk us through the day of? How does it work through pageantry? How does that whole thing go day of? Because honestly, the only experience and knowledge I have of pageantry is like movies that I watched back in the day called Miss Congeniality. That's like the only idea of freaking pageantry that I know. So can you walk us through leading up to and the day of the pageant?
Yeah, and I think it's honestly, it's pretty accurate. Like what you see in Miss Congeniality is pretty accurate, right? So leading up to your competition, you are basically organizing yourself for those 2 weeks. So it's like a marathon, right? So you're getting yourself physically fit, right? So you're working out 5 to 6 times a week, sometimes 2 times a week. I know girls that do it 3 times a week. I have a story about one of the girls. It's crazy. There's a girl, we were coming off the stage at Miss Orb, and she's like getting a Diet Coke or something. She's like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this Coke. I haven't had a soda in 2 years preparing for this competition. All she had was water, not even a juice, not even a Diet Coke. Like she didn't touch anything. So these girls are crazy. So you're preparing yourself physically. You're also doing training, right? You're doing runway training. So you're doing sessions with your coach. You're also doing speaking interview sessions with your coach. On top of that, if you have a national organization, like I've always had, you're doing appearances. So you're going to events, they're flying you places, media tours, you're doing photo shoots, and you're basically just kind of promoting the brand up until that week.
Right.
Now, when you get to those 2 weeks, the first maybe week and a half, or maybe almost the majority of it, is just a press tour. It's a huge press tour and rehearsals for the pageant. Ooh. So for example, if I'm Miss Global and I want you to come to my country, which is Bali, I'm going to give you guys $3 million to do that. And then you guys are going to match that or do whatever you've got to do. But I'm doing that because it's promoting tourism. Like, right? There's 80 girls from all over the world that are going to be talking about Bali. And I want that. So then we're doing tours with the sponsors there. We're doing rehearsals. We're doing community service events. We're going to, fashion shows. We're doing runway shows. We're rehearsing and doing trips. And then the final competition, you compete in swimsuit, evening gown, on stage question. And your private interview happens probably like the day before. So depending on which organization, they add those all up in terms of percentages, and then you get a score. And then the top 5 girls answer on stage question. Then the judges pick a winner from those top 5. They pick the winner. And that's based on basically speaking skills.
So yeah, I think you partially answered my question with your answer to Trey's question. But yeah, you mentioned preparation between pageants. So this is very ignorant of me because I'm not in that world, right? But I mean,
could be.
One is probably I need to drop like 80 pounds. So there's probably different questions with each pageant, right? So you're preparing in that aspect, but more or less you're walking the same walk down the runway, right? So aside from being physically fit, from one competition to another, what are you prepping? Like, what does that prep look like? What are you doing?
Is it like Zoolander?
So yeah, so it's a lot. It looks very easy. I will say we make it look very easy. Like when you see a pageant girl walking on a stage, it looks flawless. The execution, the turns, it just looks so natural and so pretty. The reality is I'm not walking like I would walk down a street. It's a whole different thing. You're like elongating your body, you're sticking out your back. I mean, it's very painful. It feels really weird. And you're tippy-toeing. I can't even really explain it, but let me explain it this way. Let's say I have a gown, okay? And my gown the slit is on the left-hand side, and maybe I've got to train. I have to train for that particular stage and what exactly I'm going to do at every single moment. Some girls wing it. I'm not the candidate that can. So I need to practice like walking out. Maybe I do a turn, maybe I pose, maybe it's left, maybe I throw my train. I mean, I don't know. But me and my coach have to look at different scenarios and decide which one we feel looks better. So once we decide that, it's repetition, so that when you get on stage, you're doing that exact same thing. So think about it like a gymnast, right? If she's doing the same routine, why is she practicing the same routine for a year leading up to the Olympics? It's because it's muscle repetition. You want to get there and do that exact same thing that you practice at home.
Yeah. I'm not knocking, because have y'all ever become aware that you're breathing or become aware that you're walking, and then you start walking weird because you're aware that you're walking? Is that just me? Because I've
Wait,
definitely
what?
not recently,
What?
but yeah, like
Confused. What?
if I'm like I mean like so at our previous company we would walk up to the stage to receive our reward if we received an
The
award.
Dundies,
But
yes.
yeah, but if you have so many eyes on you, you become aware of like how you're walking, and so you start overthinking it, and then you fucking start walking weird. So I can't even imagine like having to walk down the runway a certain way, like kicking your legs out, not tripping over your dress, back straight, neck out, whatever you just mentioned, in front of like thousands of eyes. It's got to be.
And it's worse because imagine your coach who has been training with you for a year
Yeah.
sitting in that audience or watching you back home, and he's gonna know if you do something wrong. So if you mess up and he's not there, I mean, so it's just added pressure that there are people in the audience. Your team knows your routine. So you've got a team of a director, maybe your stylist, your designer, your coach. I mean, they're all there in the audience and they know what you're supposed to be doing. So if you go up there and you mess it up, I mean, it's a lot of pressure. So you add the physical challenge of that, right? So a lot of us, we're on a very strict diet, no carbs, no sugar, no life, basically, leading up to the pageant, and you're working out so much, you're frail. I'm gonna be honest, because the camera adds 10 pounds, so you're pretty frail, so your brain is foggy. So you're battling and you're nervous. You're in front of a crowd of huge people, so you're battling so many different physical and mental challenges when you get onto that stage. So that's why people love to make fun of pageant girls.
Describe your perfect date.
I'd have to say April 25th, because it's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket.
When they go on stage and say something dumb, and I'm like, look, I know that girl hasn't eaten in 2 weeks. Like, I don't blame her for what she's saying up there because she's so physically like messed up, and it's sad, but it's the reality of the industry.
Is there a post-pageant binge? Like, is there like, all right, pageant's over, pizza, donuts, load it up? Is there that?
Yes. So everyone has like a post-pageant meal. So for us, when we went to Miss Orb, right when we were done with Costa Rica, all the queens, we all got in a bus, and our director took us to McDonald's. Like, I have a video of us going to McDonald's in Costa Rica, and we're like hamburgers and nuggets, and he even got us like ice cream. And it was funny because it's all these pageant queens were like so exhausted. It's 2 weeks, but it's a celebratory meal. But you also have to be careful not to eat too much, because then you'll get sick, right? Because you've been eating so clean, eat that, you get sick. So yes, but you have to still be in moderation, because you can't shock your body too much like that. But I usually go crazy for 3 days and I eat whatever I want. I mean, usually I don't crave really bad things, but I usually give myself like 3 days, and then I'm like back on the diet.
Quick question. So I know like professional athletes, boxers, UFC fighters, they do water cuts to trim down. Is that something that pageant contestants do as well?
Yeah, so a lot of pageant contestants won't drink water for 48 hours up until 24 to 48 hours up until they're on stage. Those girls take it to an extreme. I'm like, what's water weight? 2 or 3 pounds? I don't care. I'll take the water weight. Like, I'm good. Yeah. So I don't do it, but I know girls that do it, and they take water pills as well. So they'll take pills that help you flush out the water, because you want to look the smallest you possibly can for swimsuit.
Walk down the aisle or the runway, like that would be a huge advantage, because then you look really trim. Not saying that y'all aren't trim already, because you really are, but I know y'all are always looking for an edge. But that also takes some medical supervision. So I wasn't sure if there was something in place for that, or that's kind of just like some people do it, some people don't.
That's dependent on each country. So it's definitely not, and some countries, like the Latin American countries, when you win, you get a full plastic surgery, like makeover. Like, they take you into a surgeon and they'll be like, okay, you need your nose done, you need your cheeks done, you need your boob. Like, it's pretty vicious, but but it's a room, it's a team of people, and they're just writing on your body, like what they don't like about it. And boop, they send you in. And that comes with you winning, but it's the Latin American countries. I didn't experience that in a USA country. And even though I am in a Latin American country right now, I'm representing Mexico, my organization hasn't had me do that, thankfully. But then again, I'm already pretty late in the game with the plastic surgery stuff. So.
I think that's crazy, because like to take the to take the winner of a pageant and then say, hey, this is all the work you need. Like, you just won a pageant. You just beat out so many other girls by the way you look, by the way you speak, by the way you carry yourself, to then tell you, like, hey, this is all the stuff you need done to make you even better. That is psycho. Yeah, that's brutal.
And yet, I'm gonna be super honest, guys. I mean, it messes with you mentally. And there's a lot of girls that can't do a sport like this for that exact reason. Or if you lose, you start to think you're ugly. Like, oh, I'm ugly. That's why I didn't win. But it's really not that. It's who was the most charismatic, who had the best day, who had, I mean, sometimes the difference between winning and losing is literally a dress color. Like, I remember one time I got first runner up and I walked up to the judges. I was like, hey guys, I would just really, love some feedback. Like, why wasn't I the winner? What do you guys think? And one of the male judges was like, you know what? I just liked her dress better. Her dress was red and yours was white and it looked better on stage. And I was like, a dress. So I was like, a freaking dress. So
the taste of smell. Hey.
I know. I was like, yeah. I was like, they slapped you in the face because you're like, really? Like, I could have just worn red and I would have won. Like, it was interesting, but it's definitely, you have to be mentally strong. But like I said, they're not doing it out of, hey, hey, you're ugly or you're not good enough. It's sort of like an added perk, right? Like, surgery is expensive. So having a surgeon that's going to clump all these stuff for you that supposedly is going to make you feel better. And again, there's always controversy with surgeries and pageants. Some people say you shouldn't do it. Some people say it's totally fine. It's just part of the game and how some organizations go, because it's math for them, right? Like, they look at what are the physical features of the winners, and how do we get you to look like that?
Damn.
Yeah, it's very objective, not
Objective. It's very objective.
It's the industry that we're in. Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying, so from the pageantry, is that what kind of led you to the doors being open into the celebrity world, where you're going to a new restaurant where there's freaking Will Smith there and all that stuff? What?
I think part of that, yes, I will say that's it. And I think the other part is honestly just being in Miami. I mean, there's just so many celebrities here. It's not even like I don't want to say we're not starstruck. Like, I see a celebrity and it's just like the other day, my friend, she just moved to Miami, right downstairs. Tekashi 6ix9ine was like running around the restaurant. She's like,
still alive? He's
like taking a bite of her burger. She's like taking a picture of him, like sending it in the group chat. We're just laughing about, like, we see celebrities like real people. We see them just like normal people.
It's
we
just
don't
it's like whatever.
Crazy about them. Like, I went to another restaurant opening and right next to us was Jamie Foxx, like just sitting there. Like, I saw him walking in, pulls up in his purple Lambo, and I'm like, oh, it's a nice Lambo. It was like one of the Urus like trucks or something. He gets out and I'm like, oh, it looks like Jamie Foxx. And I was like, that is Jamie Foxx. Yep, that's Jamie Foxx. Yep. He walks right in, sits right next to us, but we're like, they just want to enjoy their meal, and just, they're obviously getting paid to be there, right, from the restaurants. They're kind of working. So I don't know. We don't bother. I mean, there's probably one person that I would get starstruck if I ever saw in person. Actually, take that back. 2 people. Mm-hmm. Bad Bunny and Drake. Those are probably the only 2 people that I would ever. And I did see Bad Bunny once in person, and he did a double take at me, but that's neither here. I swear, ask my friends. He did.
Do you attribute your like mindset of just being always humble, being always like level-headed? Do you attribute that and coming from a small town like El Paso through all your success, through all your like pageantries or businesses, or through life and seeing celebrities? Do you attribute that to coming from a small town like El Paso?
I think it's part of it. I think it's more so I don't know. I've actually never thought about that. I think it's part of it is like the Mexican American culture. We're taught to be very humble, very hardworking, very genuine, very kind. You treat everyone like family. Mm-hmm. And then I think part of it was my small town. And another big reason was my mom. Like, she's the most beautiful, just pure on it. Like, she wouldn't take even a penny from anybody. And she always talks about doing what's right. So I think it's very easy to get wrapped up in success and fame, and to change yourself and think that you're better than other people. I mean, I certainly know a ton of girls and a ton of influencers and a ton of models who just think they're like God's gift. Like, it's their world and everyone else lives in it. I'm sure you guys have seen people like this. And I just don't understand why. I just don't
Yeah.
understand why. Everybody on this earth to me is the same. And some people have different opportunities that other people don't. Some people have different gifts that other people don't. But that doesn't make me any better than anybody else. That doesn't make, Rihanna any better than me. Rihanna's a beautiful girl that is talented as an artist. And she was so blessed to be able to have that, on a world stage. But I legitimately do not believe she's a better person than me. And I do not believe that I'm a better person than her. And of course, I just picked Rihanna because I just thought of her.
Yeah.
But that's really how I see the world. Like,
Yeah.
and I judge people based on their hearts. So how you treat people, are you kind? Are you nice? Do you help people? Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna, we all have a limited time on this earth. And, what good would I have done? Like, let's say I die a billionaire. What good does that do? What is billions? It's paper, right? So if I have the ability to donate money to children in Africa or children in, South America, or help somebody else, like, why wouldn't I do that? It just, I don't know. I think it's just my mentality about life. I think part of it is me. That's just how I am and how I think.
What fascinated me, and I would love to learn a little more about you, is you actually ended up dating a crypto founder, right? Like somebody who started their own crypto company, and you dated him, and you had some skin in the game. So I would love to learn about how you met him. You don't have to say any names. You don't have to say the name of the crypto, but how did all that pan out, and how was that experience? Because I know that opened the doors to some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Now I know what you're talking about, celebrities. Okay. Now I understand. Okay. Because I really did. I forget what I do. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I did date a
I do so much, I forget.
I do. I know. I did so much. I just started
So
over.
much. It's just so much.
No, so I dated a crypto guy, and we met on a dating app. And
Which one?
we the league.
Oh, the rich people one. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
What is it called? Wait, hold up.
Private. Like, you have
It's-
to,
As a married man of like 7 years now, and I've been, taken since 2015.
Shout out you,
What
bro.
the fuck is this?
Shout out you,
And
bro. Did it.
shout out, this. Shout out, this. What is this? Explain a little more about this app.
So the league is a date. How would you describe it, Trey? Like, how would you
It's
describe it?
like
I want your opinion. I'll say
it's like the not celebrity type, but the upper pay exclusive dating apps for.
So do you
people-
pay more to get access to this
It's
app?
very
Or
expensive. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very expensive app to pay for.
To keep all the
I
pores
will
out.
say this though. The league was started in Austin. So I got a ticket to get on the app, a few years ago, and I just for some reason hadn't used it. Now the type of men that are on there are typically interesting people that have tech companies or Ivy League degrees. I mean, it's expensive. It's like $500 a year or something like that to have a profile on there. But mine was comped because I got a ticket, so I was there. I don't know how I got there, but I was on there.
Shout out.
$500 a year. Is that right?
I
Month.
think so. I mean, I don't know what they're at. I don't know what it's now, but I think it used to be
Okay.
like $500.
So that's
be
not too terrible if that's the price, right? Because if you can get access to this whole network of people that are really well off and famous or whatever, successful, $500 a year is not bad. But if we're talking about $500 a month, then okay.
And I will say
Bobby
why I
Gunn.
like that app, it was the least overwhelming for me. Like, I couldn't be on Bumble. I couldn't be like Hinge. It's like too many messages, too many people. This one, you only get three people that you could potentially match with in a day. So
Humble
that's
brag.
it. So you just, I get too much attention.
Too many
So
messages. Too many
so
messages.
much everywhere. Just
No,
too much.
it's so
Overwhelmed.
On Hinge, anyone can message you. You don't even have to match with them. They can just, and I'm like, how do you find, it's just too much choice. So I liked the idea that it was just a smaller sample size of men and I could like focus. So I found him on there, and our first day, what did we do for our first date?
On like
What
a
did he-
yacht or.
Yeah, it actually was a yacht. It was a yacht.
Ew.
It really was a yacht.
Fire.
It was.
Fire.
Oh, I remember it was brunch. Like he's crazy. He like FaceTimed me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm with my friend, and I was like, "I'm with my friend. We're going to brunch." He's like, "No, we're going to brunch." I'm like,
Aggressive.
okay. So we went to brunch and he
Was that
hands me the
your date, or-
menu. There's like, yeah, first date. It was a table of 10 people. He's like, oh, my friends are here. He hands me the menu. He's like, order for the table. I was like, what? He's like, order for the table. Just get everything. I was like, all right. All right, waitress. And I'm just like, mimosas, bottle, blah, 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 just getting whatever I wanted. And then he was going on a yacht after, but I had which I was invited on, but I had to go to my friend's party or something like that. And then the very next day, he tried to take me on a helicopter. Crazy. It was all just like a whirlwind. It was all whirlwind, like just crazy crypto money, like just crazy. And I asked him what he did, and he's like, oh, I'm in crypto, I have a coin. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's very interesting. I was like, at the time I actually had been studying Bitcoin a lot more. Like I was on Clubhouse, and I knew all the big Bitcoiner guys. Like I would talk to them, they knew who I was, and I was just learning about it. I didn't have a lot. But then I learned about his token, and the way the technology was great. Like it still is. I mean, it's something that I think is revolutionary. And at the time I was working, I was doing remote sales for Ideal Image, and I helped him with one of his events, like on Star Island. So this is where like Anita was there, like Michael Bay, like Lisa Hodgkin, like so many other celebrities. I don't even know who was there. It was just a crazy party, and you can see all these videos. So I helped him with that one, and he was like, oh my God, you need to come work for me full time. And I'm like, okay, that was a mistake. Working full time with my boyfriend was not it. But we did so many crazy fun things. Like I met Steve Aoki and like Rob Gronkowski, and they're so cool and like super humble. And I'm the one that's like welcoming Steve in. I'm like, hi, Stevie. I'm like, thank you so much for being here. Here's your private green room. Like I learned so much about writers and how much it costs actually to book these celebrities to come to your events. But it was, but my ex-boyfriend, like he was crazy. Like he called me one time, and he's the type of, this is how I learned that really money can buy everything, anything. There's isn't anything you can't have on this planet if you think something can't happen. If you have the money, it probably can happen. He calls me and he goes, hey, I want to have an event in New York in 3 days. Really big VIP, 200 people, wanted at the best venue, the best food. Yeah, and I want Steve Aoki there. Bye. Hangs up.
Know how you're doing? Just damn.
He said, no budget, do it. Hung up. I'm like, oh my God. And there was a huge crypto event in New York that weekend. Yeah. So all the huge companies like Coinbase and FTX and all these big dogs that had way more billions than we did were already had the best venue. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I ended up booking and finding Gotham Hall, which is like the venue is insane in New York. You gotta go look it up. Beautiful. I somehow managed to put it together. And we got all the best executives at every single company to actually end up coming to our event. And we did get Steve Aoki, and we got a celebrity DJ there. And I had balloons and flowers and a crazy catering budget. It was, I had LED 8-foot LED robots. I had LED dancers. The party was insane. Afterwards, everyone was like messaging me. They're like, that was the coolest party I've ever been to in my life. Like, thank you so much. And I didn't experience it. I was like in the executive hall. Like I was with my boyfriend because he didn't like parties. So we're just sitting in like this executive place, just like drinking a couple, everyone's out partying. We're like in this private room, like, chilling, waiting for Steve. I'm like organizing, making sure people don't get out of hand. Right. So I didn't even get to experience my own party, but it was, I hear, one of the best parties people had ever been to. And that was a really cool claim to fame for me because I was like, wow, I can't believe I did this by myself in 3 days. And that's when I really learned that money could, because I would call people, I'm like, hi, I need 15 flower arrangements. They're like, oh yeah, no problem. For when? And I'm like, Saturday? They're like, this Saturday? And I'm like, yeah, this Saturday. And they're like, well, we don't have the flowers. I'm like, what's the price? They're like, oh, well, we'll have to charge you a rush fee. I'm like, it's fine. Yeah. Like a delivery fee, it's fine. And then it'll be this much. Okay, just please make sure the flowers get there. And then I hung up and then go on to the next vendor.
How was it interacting with these people who had just millions and millions of dollars?
What's
like there's no doubt like an arrogancy about them. Is arrogancy a word? Like
Sure.
they're
So
arrogant. Like
is there?
it's like I want, I get, and nothing else matters. Like, how were you as a girl who was born and raised in El Paso, Texas? Like, how did you fit into that? How did you um mold into what you needed to be to interact with those kind of people and be successful and carry on conversations and relationships with those kind of people?
I think at my core, I like it's those values of treating people like people, right? Like
Mhm.
Steve doesn't want to get treated like he's anybody different. Like he wants respect because he's an artist and he's a celebrity, and obviously what he requests, you want to be nice and you want to be good and have that in his room exactly how he wants it or whatever. But other than that, they just want cool people, right? Like they don't want like screaming like, oh my God, like it's you or whatever. They don't want that kind of energy. And it's the same with these like millionaires and billionaires. Like they kind of just want to be treated like
Normal?
people.
Like normal
Yeah, they
people?
want to be treated normal. And I will say there's two like sides to this, right? There's the arrogant assholes, like the people that are just and it's usually the people that don't even have, like, I will tell you guys this. The wealthiest people that I have ever met do not wear Rolex. They do not wear anything designer. I mean, they're very
Mark Zuckerberg.
low key and humble, but it's very clear what they have by the way that they speak and the way that they act, right? And they're just used to a whole different level of life. But that's not that they like what they like, basically.
Yeah.
Like they like what they like, and that's not to any fault of their own, right? They've achieved that success to where they can demand the best food, they can demand the best clothing, the best transportation, the best, whatever it is that's going to make them happy. But there's good and bad people even at the wealthy stage, right? Just like in middle class, there's good and bad people. Poor people, there's bad and good people. At every class, it's just humans. But I will say this: I don't want to say that it's arrogance or entitlement, but they rich people know what they can get, and they just get it, right? Like they just get it. They just get what they want because the money is like a token that you can just pay for whatever you want. Like, oh, I want a reservation there. Oh, I'm sorry, it's booked. Okay, what about $1,000 tip for you? Is it still booked? Oh, no, sir, now it's open, right? So it just depends.
Yeah. Nathan, you got anything before we move on to questions of the week?
No. No. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Got it. So like, there's just like with the middle class, right? There's different kinds of people. There's good, there's bad, there's ugly. What would you say is before we move on, your most unique experience with a celebrity or person of stature? Is that the word? Fuck, I'm drinking. Yeah. Like what status? Like, what's your most unique experience? Let's play on the good side of it, like the positive side of it.
Well, I mean, I think when I've seen somebody, give back a lot of their wealth to charity, I mean, I know a lot of people who donate back to charity and had organizations and funds and things that they do. And it's just really cool to see that. Like even Sam, who was with FTX, that got, obviously he's gonna do a lot of time in jail, but he was actually doing a lot of charity work. He was actually doing a lot of charity work and giving back to a lot of people. I don't know what percentage that was compared to how much he was like recklessly spending, but I do know that he was actually, giving back. And I did see my ex-boyfriend make substantial donations to charity and things that we got to pick to give money to. So those were really great experiences, I would say.
Okay. Last question before we head over to questions from our viewers.
Is it like more middle class talk? You're like, oh, what's it like? Is it more questions like, okay, me and Nathan here, we're peasants. What's it like at the castle top? What does it taste like to be successful?
We're spoiled over here. I think it's women who are spoiled in life.
Yeah, no. I think you shed some light on how it is to experience that side of, the social class. Where you are today, you're with a great company. You're in a great position. You're very successful. What's next for you, Maurah?
I have no idea. I mean, I want to be with this company long term. Like this is certainly my 5-year plan, but I don't know what's next. Like I have this itching to kind of get back into business, like my own kind of business. I don't know what that's going to be. But I've been thinking about what that might look like. Maybe it's some sort of clothing line, maybe it's some sort of, I don't know, accessory, just something cool. I love having something that's my own. So I would like to kind of dive back into business just as a side thing and not put so much pressure on myself to have it full time until if and when it comes to that moment.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Well, eventually we'll have merch, so again, well, maybe it helps us out then. So now we're gonna move. So now
Make our merch, Maurah.
Yeah. Do all our work more. Call a crypto guy. Now we're gonna move on to questions of our week since it is Valentine's Day on the day this comes out. So the themes are gonna be more, Valentine's Day themes ish. So let's move on to that as I pull the video.
All right.
Sounds good.
What is up, guys? Editor Bob here. Insert photo with me and the dog. I just wanted to know, guys, what has been your biggest Valentine's Day fail? I've had several, unfortunately, but let's hear your stories. Because it's about you, not me.
All right. So did you say biggest Valentine's fails?
I believe so. Your biggest Valentine's fail.
Okay. Go for it, Trey.
I'm trying to think. Biggest Valentine's fail. I guess the classic. It was like a high school. Asked a girl for Valentine's Day. By the time it kept coming around, she broke up with me. So it was flowers and just for nobody. So I just gave it to my mom. That's about it.
No. Hold on. Just to repeat, you prepped for a great Valentine's Day for this
lady
love of yours.
In high
She
school,
broke up with you. So you ended up giving
she broke up with me the day before Valentine's Day. It's like, oh fuck.
So
when you're in high school, what I'm saying, it was about like $60, but when you're in high school, it's like $60. It's like, that's food for the year. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
That's a whole paycheck.
Hell yeah. Shout out McDonald's. Shout out McDonald's. Never worked the grill. Always a front person. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. I did it, bro.
So you gave your flowers and chocolate to your mom because your girlfriend broke up with you.
Yep.
All right. That's rough.
It gets a lot worse, but
I wasn't a dater in high school, so I didn't really have any.
You know what I mean? You get it, dude.
Fuck no! You pull up a high school picture of me, you'll understand why I never had these issues. A fail was probably like either last year or the year before, and it really wasn't a big deal because married life. I think this was Valentine's Day. We planned to go to my wife's favorite restaurant. We had to bring our daughter because we live up here in Dallas and we don't have any family around. But I booked us a reservation for a nice restaurant. We pull up. They tell us we have to wait 2 hours. Waiting 2 hours with a toddler is impossible. So we ended up going from a really nice restaurant to
Chili's.
To like a fast food restaurant for our date.
Nice.
So I ordered I had pre-ordered champagne and roses on the table.
Ooh.
The whole shebang. And so we, that was canceled, and then we went and grabbed fast food.
You get a refund?
So nothing too crazy. Oh yeah. We didn't pay shit for that, but
go. Trying to make it out here.
That was mine. What about yours, Maurah?
I actually thought I was trying to think of a good fail, and actually Trey's story reminded me of my story. I had a little boyfriend in high school, and I broke up with him right before Valentine's Day. So I was this girl. I was the girl that broke up with him. Listen to me. Listen.
Like that? Okay, all right, I'm listening.
The fail was that he shows up on and it must have been like a couple of weeks. Like this wasn't like the day before. It was a few weeks before Valentine's Day. So on Valentine's Day comes and he shows up to school with like all these roses. Like it must have been 24 roses for me. And I'm like, oh, like I take them, I go to my locker, I open up my locker, and there's like a silver like diamond necklace hanging from my locker. He broke into my locker. I had my own lock. Like, how did he get my combination?
Shout out Rasa, shout out Rasa, shout out.
How did he get that in there? To this day, it like creeps me out. But it freaked me out because I just like opened it. I'm like, what the hell's that necklace doing there? But yeah.
Whatever happened to that necklace?
I think I tried to return it to him. I was like, no, like, because it was, you could tell it was expensive. And I was like, no, like, I'm not taking this. Like, please take it. He's like, no, I bought it for you. He's like, you're keeping it. And I'm like, okay. So I kept it. I wore it a little bit. And eventually, like, I lost it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Right. So, quick question for Nathan and Trey. Is Valentine's Day the one day a year that you absolutely have to buy flowers? Or is this kind of optional? I say you have to, and that's because I don't even like them. What do you guys think?
I would say no, but it is. I guess it is it required to buy flowers on Valentine's Day? No, I think it depends who you're with. You know what I mean? I think the only day you have to buy flowers, Mother's Day.
Spoken like a true single man.
Hey, dog, come on, bro. This guy. All right.
So being a married man,
we get it, dude. You're married, dude. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it, bro.
Being married is funny because like some romanticism is like lost throughout the years because you're with the same person for so long. You have children, it becomes about them, so on and so forth. But I will say, if there is one time of the year that I buy flowers for my wife, it is on Valentine's Day. It always has to be roses, and I actually need to go pick up some before Tuesday. So I would say yes. If you're gonna have to buy flowers for your lady, it's gonna be during Valentine's Day.
Yes, non-negotiable. You have to get flowers. Sorry. It's
Everybody's
Valentine's
different.
Day, and there's
Everybody's
no.
different.
And my friends, like, I'm notorious for getting flowers, and all my friends say, I really am. Like, people will just set guys.
What a
Humble
brag!
brag.
What a humble
Humble
brag!
brag.
I'm
No,
notorious for
because
getting flowers.
Notorious for getting flowers,
Listen to me.
diamond necklaces.
Listen to me. Some girls don't
I
get
can't.
flowers and they don't get gifts, and I just do. My friends know that about me. Like, I always get, and I don't ask for them ever, but it's like an expectation. Like,
Flowers on deck. Flowers on deck.
you have to. And if you want to get her, okay, to what Trey said, like, it's not necessary, right? If you want to buy her chocolates or a bear, absolutely, but you have to have a bouquet. I'm sorry. For any of the guys, she's gonna feel so left out if all her coworkers and all her friends are getting flowers from their guy, and you couldn't even spend $10 at Publix to get her flowers. Like, I don't want.
chill.
Whoa.
Not
It's like
$10.
It's not $10. It's like $80, $100.
They're not.
Tops.
No, like
For a
20 bucks.
good-
You can
no,
get
for-
not roses, but like carnations are 20 bucks.
If we're gonna
We're
get
not in middle school. We're
if we're
getting
gonna
roses.
get flowers, you gotta go a lot. Okay, you can't be like, I'm gonna go to
It's
Publix,
roses.
get a 5-cent flower.
No,
You gotta
you're
go
spending minimum $60 on
60,
roses
$80.
or a bouquet for Valentine's Day. There's no way a grown ass man is getting his girl carnations or whatever you call it.
This is
We're
not
getting
prom.
legit. Yeah, this is not
It's not
prom.
prom.
We're not in middle school. If there's a guy that got you carnations, what the fuck you call it?
Carnations. They're like,
Carnations.
As an
Little-
adult, like you
But
fucking
Publix,
dump
like-
his ass.
wait.
Is
Do
that what they-
roses really cost that much?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
The
Okay,
good
okay, no. So you can get like
Nathan,
like a cheap little.
Nathan. Remember, she's the top tier. She
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
know she forgot what
She-
a price tag was.
She doesn't know prices anymore. She's in a different world.
It's comped. Her roses is comped all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you can get like 6 roses at your grocery store for $20.
$20.
6 roses does not six roses does not look
Single
good,
ro-
right?
single- yeah.
You have to get multiple, and then
Yeah,
you
the
gotta
whole
find
thing.
a fucking pot to put them in. And so by the time you spend money on the jar, pot, whatever you call it, plus X amount of
Base.
roses,
Awesome.
at least 18 to fill it up, you're spending at least $60 to $80.
Yep. $80.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to the middle class. How's it feel? How do you feel?
Wow.
How do you
Welcome
feel,
back to
Maurah?
middle class,
Welcome
Maurah.
to the middle class,
I
Maurah.
feel like that's expensive.
It is.
Hey, love's
But
expensive. Right, Nate?
love is expensive, but for the right person, it's
It's
worth it.
worth it. It's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is my sister-in-law, Julia. Let's see what she has to say.
All right, y'all. When was the last time that you guys went all out, decorated gifts, whole 9 yards for Valentine's Day?
Well, last time. I want to say when I was 20. Whole deal, planned the whole day. It was flowers in the morning, and then cooked her breakfast, and then whole deal. We went to the beach because the Rio Grande Valley. Well, pretty much the whole day till about 3:00. Came back, took her out to eat, and then dinner, and then we to like some country hall, whatever. I think I forgot, somewhere in Los Fresnos somewhere, but yeah, pretty much. It was a full day plan. All overall, yeah. Again, tailored to who I'm with. Go ahead.
So back when you were 20, you're 30 now. So 10 years ago?
31, get it right. So about, yeah, about.
Trying to help you out there, guy.
It's okay, bud. Hey, Grace coming in. Let's just embrace it, guy. I'm not scared. I ain't scared out here.
No.
Yeah.
So these years like blend together. I don't know when the fuck happened when. So it's hard with a kid. It's hard to get out. It's hard to plan. It's hard to do stuff when you have a kid. I think the last thing that I remember was actually back in college, where I did the whole roses on the bed. I did the roses leading up to the bed. We did the dinner. We did the We did the roses. We did all that. So that was back in college. Probably my senior year, which would have been her junior year, was the last time I went all out as far as the whole 9 yards. You know, when we're still dating, and we've been dating probably for a year or two by then. You have the time and the freedom to go out and get that shit done. Now it's just like, yes, roses, and then dinner, and then roses on the bed gets messy. You have to clean up the mess. You do it once, you learn your lesson, and you don't do it again. But probably 8 years now it's been since I went big for Valentine's Day. I need to like up my game and do something.
There you go.
Again, but
there you go. Come on.
It's hard when you have a 3-year-old that's very demanding and takes up a lot of your time.
Could imagine. Maurah?
I don't think I've ever done that for anyone. Like me? Like me do that for someone?
No. So this is very, obviously coming from a woman's perspective, like a lot of stuff is done for the lady, right? So how about this? What's the biggest gesture somebody's ever done for you for Valentine's Day?
Probably one of my exes a couple years ago was really sweet. Like I had just flown in, and his whole condo, there was rose petals everywhere, like everywhere. The kitchen, the bathroom, the table, like everywhere. There were candles lit, a beautiful bouquet of flowers, wine, and then we were gonna go to dinner. So that was I was so shocked because I didn't see him. Like he's a really tough like guy. So the fact that I pictured him just like, taking out the roses and doing that sweet thing, it was very, very thoughtful. But that happened a couple years ago.
Question. So obviously from a man's perspective, we think, oh, this is what they want. They're going to love this. It's a great visual, right? Yeah. But from a woman's perspective, like what are your honest thoughts on that? Is it too corny? Is it like cliche? Like what are your thoughts around that?
I love it because I'm one of my love languages is gifts. So like if I love you, I'm giving you gifts, like, and so if I get something like a flower, like a physical flower or just any sort of gift, I feel very loved. And I also look at the gesture, right? So like, oh man, he was at work all day and he remembered, like he had to go out of his way. He had to go get that for me. Like I'll think about those kind of things. And it's more about how you make them feel versus the thing itself or how expensive it was.
I feel like that's a Hispanic thing.
Whoa, dude, why you gotta bring race into it? Just kidding. Just kidding.
Maybe it is. I mean,
yeah, probably.
Like
more likely.
Growing up in middle lower class, like we couldn't afford things, right?
We're in the
so as we grow old, as we grow older, we place a lot of value on that, being successful, being able to afford things, and so we want to do those things for the people that we love. Because my wife is different. She's white. She places less emphasis on gifts and more about experiences. I place a lot of emphasis on gifts because to me, a gift is, in my mind, it's like I put X amount of hours into my job to earn X amount of dollars to be able to afford this for you. That's that's how my mind works, right? Because growing up, we didn't have a whole lot, and we didn't have a whole lot of money. Things cost money. We don't have the money. We can't afford the things. Now that I'm older and making my own money, I can afford the things. I can give you these things. But it's so funny hearing you say that. Like giving gifts is a way of showing affection, or is our love language versus like how maybe some other people, they're what their love language is. Trey, do you feel the same way? Like giving gifts is your love language?
Oh, absolutely. It's like this. I think it is a cultural thing because it's like work real hard because like we accumulate money out of our own work. So when we buy gifts, it's like, hey, I worked this hard for you. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like that translation. So it's definitely a culture thing for sure.
Yeah,
Like this gift costed 20 hours of hard labor.
Or 35. I had to
Here
pull
you-
up. I had to
here you
fucking deal
go.
with 5 Karens to get you this shit. So I could love you. Here you go.
on 5
Yeah.
carats.
That's funny.
Hi, Nathan and Trey. I want to know what you actually think of Valentine's Day.
What I actually think of Valentine's Day, I think it's an appropriate holiday. I'm just kidding. It's a trash. I'm just kidding. Actually, it should be called Singles Awareness Day. I'm just kidding. No, actually,
He's not
think
kidding.
No, okay. I'm okay. Singles Awareness Day. I'm just kidding. No, it's I think it's a holiday that is needed. I mean, I guess with modern everything is so like blah blah blah. I think it's important to have a day to be like, hey, you know what? You know, love you, man. Oh, hey, you know what I mean? I think it's a needed holiday. That's what I'm gonna say here. You know what I mean? It's
What's that
always a
word,
good
Maurah?
reminder.
It's like an evil necessity. What is that word? It's like a phrase.
That's the phrase.
Evil necessity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like
It's
I think
like-
Oh
obviously
no,
for like
necessary evil. The other way.
It's
Sorry.
necessary.
yeah, there we go.
it's
Yeah.
It's a necessary evil.
it's like
Like for-
Christmas. It's not about the gifts, it's about the message, but it's like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say here? It's like it's needed. So I mean,
Yeah, for the single people, it's like one of the toughest days of the year because it's a reminder of how lonely you are.
it's not though.
We've all been there. We've all been there. It's fine. But at the same time, it's like the one time out of the year, except for your significant other's birthday, to like take time to
Anniversary?
put effort and an anniversry. Fuck
I
you,
got
Trey.
you.
You're
I
getting
got
me in
you.
trouble here.
I got you, bro. I got you. It's my co-host. I got you, boy.
Thank you, man. It's a necessary evil to like a reminder to put extra effort into your relationship because as we all have experienced, you know, in different times of our lives with significant others, like sometimes extra effort is needed. You get into your routines of your day to day, your week to week, your job, your personal life, all of the extra bullshit that it's just a reminder, hey, there's a person in your life that means a lot. Put some extra effort into that day to make them feel special.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love love. So I love Valentine's Day. Fully supported. And if you're single for Valentine's Day isn't just about couple love. It's about family love and friendships. So me and my friends always try to have a Galentine's Day. A couple of my girlfriends are single this year, and my boyfriend might not be back from Madrid in time. So we're probably going to spend Valentine's Day together and just celebrate our love and our friendship. So you don't have to be alone on Valentine's Day. Take that as an opportunity to spend time with your family, with your friends, or people that you love, and you can still participate. Buy them flowers, buy them chocolates. I mean, I love love, so I'm all about Valentine's Day.
If your friends are looking for a good-looking co-host,
Don't
Trey
you
is single.
dare
Maurah.
say it. It's not about me. It's about Bobby. Don't listen to him. Bobby, I'm going to get you swipe right. Yeah, for my Valentine's Day, I'm going to drive up to Dallas and give Nathan a hug.
There we go, baby. Let's go.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful.
But to end on Nathan's point, it's true, man. Like that extra effort, it you may not seem like much, but it goes a long way. It goes a long way. They're trying to have a discussion with Bob, but he keeps, beaming it. Oh, hey, buddy, you're back, buddy. Hey.
He's back.
Sorry, guys.
Hey.
Sorry. Too
You
many
good,
waters
bud?
tonight.
Yeah, that's what I told her. You say, you good, bud? You good to go?
Yes. I'm good. Sorry.
As he just said, too many waters, guys. Too many waters.
He's like, I'm good.
The bad thing is like when I drink too much water, like my eyes just like shut. So I apologize. I promise I'm awake.
Yeah, sure, bud.
But do we have one final?
We have one,
question,
ladies and gentlemen. We have one final question. We saved the best for last. Is my little brother, and I'm just, Nathan, you're gonna love him. All right, take it away.
Hold on. Is this the little brother that shits on me on every
Yep.
podcast? I real okay, cool,
Yep.
cool. All right, let's
Take it
go.
away, little bro.
All right, first, you already know, I got to give a shout out to my man, to my quarterback, a.k.a. Dak Prescott. He got man of the year. Look, haters going to hate. If you can't hang with us when we're at the bottom, you don't deserve to be with us on top. Bro, man, you see the bell, you see the jersey, man, you see the hat, man, just quit playing, bro. If you're a bandwagoner or a part-timer, bro, just throw yourself in the trash, man. Just throw yourself right in the trash, bro. Hey, February 14th, It's Valentine's Day, man. AKA Tuesday morning divorce paper day, man. Bro, my question for Trey, Big Brain Nathan, or the guest, what was the most expensive Valentine's Day gift you guys ever bought? Go Cowboys.
The whole thing was about the Cowboys. Cowboys.
That's why I am a Colts fan.
Great.
all my family's like that. But okay, most expensive gift. I would believe it's gonna be the one I mentioned earlier, the whole beach deal and everything. I think that cost about, $250 with the whole thing planned. So, yeah, Nathan, go away.
God, man, I don't know. So I don't know if this is the most expensive. This is what I could just think of. I got my wife diamond earrings and took her out to dinner and dessert. So that the total was probably $800. I want to say. That was me. Yeah, nothing too crazy, but you know, when you got them bills. $800.
when you got that mortgage, and bills.
Yeah, you got those diapers, bro. You got to pay for those diapers. What about you, Maurah? Blow us out of the water. I know there was millions spent on you.
How many
in
millions?
One day.
How many
billions? What does that sound like?
No, I don't know. So I have gotten expensive gifts, but not on Valentine's Day, so they don't qualify. I think I got a sweet gesture. Like we went to a restaurant at the Four Seasons. He gave me a book. Yeah, it was actually a really good book. It was a Hemingway book that I had been wanting to read. At the time, I was thinking about going to law school, and he was a lawyer, so we were trying to connect over literature anyways. And he didn't know what to get me for Valentine's Day, so he just gave me $700.
What a random number. Why 700?
I don't know. It was such a weird number, but there was $700 in the book. I was like, oh, thanks.
Was there a note, or was it just like a gift card? Like, there you
go. Oh, and a Tiffany's bracelet. Shit, I forgot about that.
That's a big forget.
Yeah, sorry.
So many riches everywhere. You know what I mean?
Tiffany bracelet. That was worth $5,000.
I remember that because he's like holding my hand or something, and then he put it on me at dinner, and I was like, oh. And he's like, and I got you a book, and I was like, wow, this is so sweet. And I opened it, and there was $700 in there.
Question.
It's a weird gift, though.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, by the way. That's a lot of monies. What do women do with jewelry gifted to them by exes?
I hate it. Well, I keep it. Like I have. Well, actually, I don't know what happened to that Tiffany bracelet.
It's a Tiffany bracelet.
I'm very bad with jewelry, so I'm not the kind of person you want to buy expensive jewelry for. I lose everything.
But do you stop wearing it because an ex gave it to you, or you just like lost it because, clumsiness?
I lose it because of thoughtfulness. I'll lose it somewhere. I'm not very careful with things. But if I have this one diamond ring that this guy gave me several years ago, but I still wear it. I mean, I love it.
Diamond ring?
Yeah, it's diamonds. This is actually a cool story. We were in Naples. We were at dinner.
Out Naples, Florida.
We were at brunch. Or something. I don't know where we were like drinking, and we were like 2 drinks deep at the bar. He goes, "I'll be back," and he gets up and he leaves, and I'm just like it was so weird. It was a first date too. I was like, this is so weird. I just keep drinking my wine, and I'm sitting there, and he comes back maybe 25 minutes later. He slips a diamond ring on my finger. He just puts it on my ring.
Left hand, first date.
The ring one, left hand.
Bro, what?
Damn.
What do you say to that?
What'd you do?
Well, first of all, I didn't know it was real. I thought he was joking. I was like,
yeah,
cool. Like, you're so sweet. Like, thank you so much. And I awkwardly put it to the middle because it was a little bit too big. So I put it to the middle hand, and then I don't know, I kind of think about the rest of the date, but that was weird. That was a weird one. I forgot that he did that. That was weird.
Bruh.
But I love that ring. To wear it.
He low-key proposed to you, forced proposed to you on
the first date. On the first date.
On the first date.
I think it might have been a proposal. Yeah.
I think it was.
Bro, he put it on the ring finger?
Yeah,
it was
that's bold as fuck.
He just.
So what? How did that end? How did that relationship end?
Well, okay, so he wanted me to travel with him all over the world, and I didn't want to leave my career and stuff, and so I said no. And
What
then
were you
he
doing at the time?
I think I was shit, what was I doing? I was working at so I had just started at Allergan, I think.
Oh, that's funny.
I had just started at Allergan, so I just started my job, and he was set, so he was like, come with me to China, come with me here, let's do this, blah blah blah. So he just wanted me to be his like plus one in his life, which is great, but I didn't want that. And then I saw him like start to date this girl from or she was from Vegas, and she would fly with him everywhere. Like she would go with him. Like she said yes to the lifestyle he wanted to provide, what he wanted her to do. And they ended up getting married.
Damn.
Yeah.
What does he do for a living? Or
This is
what
gonna
did he do?
This is gonna sound weird, but he's a farmer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, milk them cows.
Milk them cows, drink them Bud Lights, and I found the flames.
He said he was a farmer, and I was like, wow, I was like, what a cool, interesting career. And he's like, at the time I was in Austin, and he was like, we had met online, like on a dating app. And he's like, would you like to come on a date with me? And I was like, sure. I was like, sure, yeah. Like, where are we going to meet? Because he lives in, I can't tell you what state, because if I tell you, you'll be able to figure out what company his dad has. They have. And I was like,
Starbucks? Is it Starbucks?
You can go on a date. And he goes,
Apple.
okay, he says, I'm going to send a plane for you.
Bruh.
Bro,
Imagine being a man and hearing those words. I'd be like, oh, take me.
No, yeah, I mean, they had their own like plane. I met his sister, his like brother-in-law. We all like flew out to Naples. Then we went to one part of the Midwest where like they live after. I mean, his house was insane. Cars were insane. Like just crazy. The reason I bring that up is he said farmer, and I thought he was like an actual, like he was the one like in the thing, but he's like, no, my family, like you see this brand like in all the stores, like that's my
Tyson.
Let's say it like something like that. I'm not gonna tell you which one. I'm not gonna tell you which one, because
Motherfucker making frozen nuggets and shit.
it's gonna out him. But anyways,
shout
that
out
was
Dino Nuggies.
keep my gifts.
Shout
I
out.
keep my gifts. Actually, I probably want to sell it now that I think about it. But
So on the topic, I know we talked a little bit about Valentine's Day. So what would your advice be to single people out there for Valentine's Day, or just in general that are out there in the whole, relationship seas out there?
you have to date. You have to take a chance on yourself. If you don't go out and make the time to meet people, you're never going to find your person. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of single people do. They're like, oh, I don't want to go on dates. Like they're so bad. We all have bad dates. We all have bad experiences. It's a volume. It's a numbers game, right? Like going on a ton of dates. Don't go on dates willy-nilly, right? Like go on dates with people that you like, that you feel like you might have a connection with. But you're never going to know chemistry or if you like anyone unless you actually make an effort to meet them. So put yourself out there, be yourself. Don't be someone that that you are trying to like impress somebody or be somebody different. Just be yourself and don't give up, because there's been a lot of moments even in my life where I've been single and I'm like, oh my God, I'm never gonna find anyone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm in a super happy relationship right now.
All right, Maurah. So why don't you, as we work into your outro, some of your best words of wisdom or words of encouragement to our viewers. People go through tough times in silence. And I like to think that when we end the podcast on a positive note, that even if it helps one person achieve their goals or work towards their goals or provide some encouragement to them to work towards a better life, what are your words today?
Actually, something that I heard Lady Gaga say.
Shout out.
You can have 1,000 people in the room. All you need is one person to believe in you. So keep fighting, keep going. There's gonna be people that are gonna love you and gonna talk about you and put you in the right rooms and get you to where you need to be. Be a good person, fill up your karma jar, do good things in life, and good things will come back to you.
Yeah, my mind just blown. It's like it's just how life is on the the castle side, with us peasants down there. You know what I'm saying? It's like how the other half lives. You know what I'm saying? Just like shit.
No, I don't know what the other half. I don't know, but
No.
maybe.
No. Hey, Maurah, thank you for your time today. I know
Really
your
appreciate it.
your plans are full with partying with celebrities and hanging out with Will Smith
Smith.
at restaurants, but we appreciate your time today. It's been a lot of fun, and we hope to have you again in the future.
Thank you guys. Keep going. Keep building your brand. You guys are gonna get big.
Once again, thanks, Maurah, for coming on. Again, kudos, respect for having that mindset after going through so much success and experiencing, a lot of things. But man, just kudos again. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for coming on. Nathan?
Yeah, I shout out to Maurah for making time for us and delivering a great podcast. A friendly reminder to people who are watching to like, comment, and subscribe. It does help a bunch, and it only takes 5 seconds of your time. So go ahead and click the like button if you haven't. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Even if it's like, hey, great podcast. Enter. Takes 2 seconds. Or hey, you fucking suck.
Yeah, because we've been getting a lot of those, but it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. With that being said, we will see you next week. Bye.
Take care.
What? Do it again. We gotta be innocent. Other side. Bye.
Bye.
Night.
Night.
Night.